welcome back to the 20th Century Dude channel. Boy, have we come a long way as far as what we can watch at home. It really has changed over the past several decades, hasn't it? There's definitely been so many variations as far as what we can watch. But today I'm going to give my top 10 favorite formats and what I personally think of each of them. Typically, I don't do like a ranking video. I don't really subscribe wholeheartedly to the ranking system as far as quality is concerned, but there definitely is a tier as what I personally think are my personal favorite or superior formats, and the ones that just really aren't as good. Because trust me, there definitely are some doozies along the way. Not included are the CartridgeVision tapes from the early 70s. These are just really difficult to find, so we're not including it for that reason, even though this was a prototype to home media. Also not included is the video high density format, which was another vinyl disc format. I don't have this. I haven't had any exposure or experience with it, so we're also not including that. Also not included is the Muse High Vision LaserDisc format, which was a LaserDisc offshoot. It was a prototype to high-def technology, but again, I don't have any of these because they're too terribly expensive, so therefore they are not included. Also not included is the D-Theater VHS format, which I do not have a sampling of, or other beta and VHS offshoots like SVHS. Those are not included. But otherwise, let's begin, shall we? And starting out at number 10, we have the DIVX format. And I would honestly describe this as the most useless format out of them all, because you can't even play it. It's just so stupid. So basically how this was designed was, it's DVD quality, sure. It's used with a different codec. It uses the DIVX codec, rather than the MPEG-2 the DVD uses, hence why it's called DIVX. But say it's, 1998, 1999, and you rent one of these movies, you bring it home, or maybe even you buy it for that matter, you play it once, but then after you play it once, you have to call on a number to watch the film again or access bonus content. So needless to say, this did not catch on with consumers as it should have. At least with DVD, you could buy it once, maybe with a little higher price, and you could watch it for forever, right? This you watch once, and you had to call in some stupid number to watch it again or access more stuff. But the thing is, it's not like you can even use the number anymore, call the number, because the number has been discontinued, right? I've tried that before to try to watch this Deep Rising movie, but I can't because the DIVX number, it's done. It's discontinued, so you can't even watch these things anymore anyway. So it's sort of like the Flex Play format, where it's a watch one guarantee, and then it's basically useless after you watch it once. Both are really stupid in this case. So how would I describe DIVX? It's like DVD, but it's extra stupid, I guess I should say. It's DVD, but stupid. So that's why DIVX is on the bottom of the list, because it's just plain dumb how this was set up. Totally useless. Next up at number 9, we have the video CD format, which is better than DIVX, because at least compared to DIVX, you can actually play this thing. But does that make it great? Not really. It's worse quality than a DVD, and in this case, since you could only hold about 70 to 80 minutes per disc, since like an audio CD, you can only hold about 75 to 80 minutes worth of stuff. You had to have multiple discs for the same movie. So even this is only like, what, a 90-minute movie? It still needs 2 discs. At least with LaserDisc, in that case, all you had to do was flip the one disc for a 90-minute movie, but Yeah, so this is a fault, I suppose, with video CD. Of course, this technology was also made cheaper on purpose. It did predate DVD by a couple of years, but the technology to make these things is definitely cheaper, and it looks cheaper. The main audience for this is for people in Asian locations, primarily, that can't accessibly buy DVDs. You could import these from other countries, like this one came from Singapore, apparently, but honestly, compared to DVD, why even bother? Why even bother having these stupid things? Because the quality is worse. It has that video artifacting that poor internet streaming has, and you can't get rid of it. And even something like this, it has like Indonesian subtitles burned permanently to the image, which you can't also get rid of. The audio mixing is also weird. The movie plays kind of quiet, but at the beginning it has some previews, and they're like bumped up like extremely loud. And I have no idea as to why that was done. So needless to say, yes, video CD, it's better than a DIVX at least, because at least you can play it. It's not great though, so video CD would not be a worthwhile investment for your home video movie collection, I suppose. Next up is HD DVD. It's similar to Blu-ray as far as HD formats are concerned, but of course it famously failed because of the hardware issues that pertain exclusively to Warner Brothers discs. There is a famous Warner rot that inhabits a lot of Warner Brothers content on these movies, and the problem is a third of these movies, as far as what you can collect for the format, are from Warner Brothers. So it makes it really hard to collect for HD DVD when you can really only get from like 2/3 of the movie studio. So like Paramount is fine, Universal is fine. I can't really see a whole lot of Disney as far as HD DVD is concerned. I don't think they really invested in HD DVD. But as far as I can tell, United Artists, Paramount, Universal, those are pretty fine on HD DVD. Warner Brothers, you're taking a huge gamble. Like Superman here, it works at times. I've had Warner Brothers discs, like my first Batman Begins copy, which did not work at all. It was just plain broken. But the other one was fine. I just had to skip like the first 16 to 20 minutes of the movie before I can get to anything that was really watchable. So that, compared to Blu-ray, that doesn't really make HD DVD an easy pickup for home video. It's nice to have something else in high definition, but again, especially when it comes to Warner movies, you're really taking a huge gamble. I will say, compared to Blu-ray, it does have better color temperature. It actually maintains the warmth of some of these film prints better than what Blu-ray does. Again, because you're also capped in movie selections like Warner Brothers, you can't really watch anything made past 2007, 2008, because that's when this format ended. So it's not like you could watch like Avengers Infinity War on HD DVD, because you can't. It's impossible. That movie was made in 2018, and this format ended around 2008-ish. So it's about a decade too late, I suppose. And let's be honest, some of the movies you can watch on HD DVD, you can watch on 4K, you can watch on Blu-ray, or you can watch on DVD anyway. And actually, probably be guaranteed to be better working on those other three. So, HD DVD, it has a small group of devoted, loyal fans. But honestly, I'd say it is possible, due to the hardware gimmicks, that it is possible to bow out of collecting this format pretty early. I even, the other day, made a list of possible stuff that I could possibly pick up on HD DVD that I'd want to watch. Unfortunately, half of those are movies on Warner discs, so you'd be, again, taking a huge gamble of what you're picking up. So I think for that reason, it's kind of easy to see why not as many people didn't pick this up as easily compared to Blu-ray. Now, I don't hate HD DVD, I don't love it either. It's a weird emotional mix in here, I guess I should say. And coming in at number 7, we have the CED Video Disc, which I would honestly describe as a clunky but unique video format. It did offer viewers a chance to watch movies on a pure vinyl disc. These are video records in a sense. They're really, unless you're counting in VHD while we're at it, there really is nothing else like it. Unfortunately, even though it is a very unique format, it is pure analog, pure and simple. There's definitely a reason people would have collected even something like LaserDisc a lot more back in the day. Because LaserDisc took off where this couldn't because of technological reasons. These were also known for having hardware issues, whether they are belt issues or a simple matter of a disc not playing or a stylus going bad in the players. Honestly, I've had to open up my CED machine and fix CED stuff probably more times than any other format, really. I haven't had to deal with anything like LaserDisc a whole lot, or DVD, Blu-ray, even VHS in that matter. I know sometimes you'll come across a thrift store and there'll be a player that's kind of broken and has some power supply issues. But even then, I've never had to work on a format as much as CED. It really is just an odd duck in that realm. Let's also be honest, many of the same titles you could get on other formats. It shares the HD DVD problem as well. You could get this on other formats and they work better. Again, like LaserDisc, you could get this on LaserDisc. You know, I have this on Betamax. I have this on Blu-ray. I even have the ABC TV extended cut on VHS of this specific movie alone. So you could get this on other formats and have them work better. A little fact about CED though is if you have them in a white case, that means it's in mono, but if you have them in the nice blue caddies, that means it's in stereo. So that's kind of nice, especially if you have one of those stereo enhancer kits for your player, depending on what model you get. Like LaserDisc, unfortunately, you could not record onto it. That would be pretty cool if you could, but the problem is that was just never going to happen with this technology. Like vinyl, these things were pressed in a separate factory and then given to consumers later. It's not like videotape or audio tape in this matter, where you could record onto tapes pretty easily at home. That's just not the case with CEDs. You weren't going to be recording your episode of the Jeffersons or the Dukes of Hazzard while you're at your son's basketball game and then come back to it later. That wasn't going to happen with this format. This was going to hold a wide selection of movies that you could actually get for pretty cheap. You could probably walk out with like 20 of these back in the day, where maybe you could only pay for like 3 or 4 VHS tapes, considering what people had to buy physical movies for back then. And it only had 1 hour per side, like LaserDisc, so you were capped time-wise in that realm. Unfortunately, due to the quality of some of these discs, some of them are virtually unplayable almost. The boat here, that seemed to work pretty fine. Star Trek The Motion Picture here, however, it does have a good deal of dirt on it, and I know my first copy of Revenge of the Pink Panther, that just doesn't work at all. It is basically unwatchable. You can't do anything about it. There's that much dirt on it, it's useless. So that's my opinion of CED. It's nice. Again, it's a clunky but unique format. You know, I think it's unique. It's okay. I watched this over several formats again, but there are other formats that I would prefer to have instead. Coming in at number 6, we have the Betamax format. Oh boy, And honestly, I would describe this as the other tape format that was technically superior, but also second best at the same time. Even look at the name, Betamax. It actually does mean second best, if you think about it. So, title-wise, they could have chose a better title for the format, because it really was symbolic in that way. But anyway, so these beta tapes, they did offer slightly superior video quality to VHS. Audio quality stayed the same, although, to be honest, between playing one of these in my Super Beta player or playing a tape in my VHS HQ player, I can't really tell a difference. They both look a bit samey. I suppose depending on what TV you also hook it up to, maybe you can get a better differentiation between sound and video quality. Again, these had very, very slight improvement video-wise, but the audio remained the same. So if you had Beta Hi-Fi and VHS Hi-Fi, they were pretty much going to be the same soundtrack level quality. So Betamax was pretty much what I would describe as ahead of the game, but also behind. It did release a year before VHS did, but recording functions were also a mixed bag of results. The recording quality, if you recorded at Beta 1 speed, was better, but you could only record for like 60 to 90 minutes on a given tape. Whereas VHS could eventually stretch out to 4 hours. It offered 8 hours, eventually even got 10 hours, depending on the tape. Although the quality was extremely diminished by that point. And I don't know why you'd want to watch a 6 to 10 hour tape when the quality dips that much. Beta even got capped at like 5 hours per tape. But even then, it's like, I don't think I'd want to, with the quality dipping down, the more recording you have on there, right? It's like, why would you want to watch something like that? Again, you also get a great selection of classic films on this format. There's a lot of good films from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, even 70s on beta tape. You get a wide variety of classic films, but you're also capped what to watch after a certain time period, because this format ended in the mid-90s, so you really can't watch anything after around the early 90s, pretty much. The last film released on the format was Mission Impossible, which released in 1996. Even that is an extremely rare release of the film. Good luck finding that if you do. I would also say, because of this format, it's kind of unique to VHS, but it's also, not really that unique. It kind of does feel like another tape format, but it's slightly smaller. I suppose because of its smaller size, it could have led to, early Netflix rentals if you really wanted to. If you remember the DVD by mail program they did, you probably could have done something like this, but with Betamax. Now, with a double tape release like that, that might pose a problem, but for single movies released on a single tape, I don't see why they couldn't have done something like that back in the day. Maybe they would have had a slight advantage over VHS. But it is a cool format. I would say VHS would probably be more of a preference, and it's easy to see why consumers preferred VHS over Beta, because of the practicality. Next up, we have just regular Blu-ray. It is the HD DVD format that persevered. It is essentially a DVD with better technology, storage space, and enhanced quality for your movie viewing experience. It does unfortunately lack in sales compared to a regular DVD, but at least it does better in sales than its 4K counterpart. I remember when, when Blu-ray was coming out, we had a DVD of Pixar short films, and they advertised, these classic Disney films with a clean Blu-ray restoration on it. And it's like, as a child, it's like, that's cool. What is it? What does that mean? Eventually, that meant it was a whole other disc entirely. It offered a lot of mainstream audiences, movies you can watch on HD, at home, which was a great thing for those who just picked up those new high-def televisions coming out in the 2000s. And what's great about Blu-ray as well is these movies look great on this format and have been released and reissued on Blu-ray multiple times. So it's not uncommon for something like Iron Man or Pirates of the Caribbean or something to be released on this format and reissued multiple times. Or maybe it's a classic film like Lawrence of Arabia that can be released and reissued multiple times, again, maybe due to certain restorations and whatnot that happen throughout the decades. So Blu-ray's nice for that. Some of these Blu-rays, they do include, like DVD, a lot of, collections of movies. If you have the entire Rocky series or Rambo series on DVD and Blu-ray, they'll have some nice box sets and stuff on that yet. So that's pretty cool. And honestly, I say Blu-ray is the format with the fewest hardware issues, probably. It's also the most scratch-resistant disc format that I've personally encountered. I know once you scratch up a DVD, it's pretty much permanently ruined. So Blu-ray, I haven't really had that much of a problem. So other than taking care of a smudge once on my Spider-Man 2 disc, really haven't had that much of a problem with Blu-ray, really. And there's not any major hardware issues I've had to deal with. So that's a great positive for Blu-ray, I suppose. So yes, that's my opinion on the Blu-ray format. Up next, we have the 4K UHD Blu-ray format, which is honestly the best home video could possibly be, and definitely the best it's ever looked and sounded like. And this is what even Blu-ray enthusiasts have been waiting for probably years. It offers incredibly sharp picture quality, but maintains a proper film aesthetic. It does retain all the grain from those original film prints, as well as the colors and texture of the film itself that even DVD and Blu-ray could not maintain. You could not play these in a regular Blu-ray, for example. If you have a 4K of Black Panther, for example, it has to be played in a special and powerful, very powerful 4K player. So it's not like you could put these in a regular Blu-ray, for example. It has to be in a 4K specialized unit. So unfortunately, because of that, it doesn't have the consumer friendliness that even regular Blu-ray has. But these are pretty fantastic for film restorations and collectors markets. Even something like Across the Spider-Verse here, even though this was done entirely digital, is going to look pretty fantastic on a 4K. So the 4K UHD Blu-ray is basically like Blu-ray, but much better. It's improved in every way possible. The only way I wouldn't say it's improved, these are less scratch resistant than a regular Blu-ray is. So that's going to pose a major problem. Other than that, these are, great for film restorations and collectors markets. So if you have a chance and you got a 4K player, pick up something on 4K, because granted, it's probably going to look fantastic on the 4K format. Alright, up next we have the LaserDisc format, which I would honestly describe as the best of both worlds. It's the best of analog and digital, and LaserDisc has a fantastic and honestly rather big cult following. These weren't picked up a whole lot back in the day because of how popular the videotape formats were, but this definitely has, I would almost describe as a rather stubborn fan base. Ever since, there are definitely people who have picked these up back in the day, or they rented them or bought them, and have continued on with LaserDisc ever since. Again, it really is the best of the analog and digital realm of things, and at least for the 20th century anyway. This was the best home video could offer at the time. Some people even say it rivals DVD as far as the sound mixing is concerned, and the sound quality for these movies it's fantastic. They really did an incredible job with the sound mix for the LaserDisc format, so that is definitely one of the biggest pluses I could possibly give this format. Unfortunately, like the CED, you could not record on these things. You could not hold more than an hour per side, but that's fine. I really don't see why you would need to record onto a LaserDisc. They did have recordable LaserDiscs for more professional industries. They probably would have had something like that for maybe in a museum or something. If you're passing by and they have a video display talking about dinosaurs or some archaeological discovery or whatever, something in the Smithsonian. So chances are you probably have ran into a recordable LaserDisc machine before. Even those could only hold about 20-25 minutes per disc, so it's not like that was a major technological marvel for recordable LaserDiscs. But anyway, the rest of LaserDisc, it was still a technological marvel at the time. It did pave the way for DVD and CD tech to happen. And even for collectors, I guess you could describe this as the 4K of its time, because sometimes you would have these really nice LaserDisc box sets that you could get. There's some really, really nice stuff offered for LaserDisc. Let's just take a look at High Noon here, for example. Like in here, you get a nice, gigantic poster. Not going to reveal the whole thing because of how big it is. And got little inserts as well. A special collector's release like this, I believe, is also going to offer, a special collector's release like this also offers, bonus features on a disc. I believe this one has a couple of trailers from the time of its release. It also has a making of featurette on here with Stanley Kramer, Fred Zinnemann, Lloyd Bridges, and of course Leonard Maltin, big film guy if you've ever heard of him. So you get some really nice collector sets on LaserDisc, so you can't really complain there. So LaserDisc is great. Check it out if you haven't ever used this format before. It really is quite awesome, and that's why it's one of my favorite home video formats of all time. Coming up to the top two, and honestly, I would say it's rather tied. They're almost tied together because of my attachment to the both of them. But I guess we'll start with DVD. I grew up with DVD. It's one of the most consumer-friendly formats of all time, with a lot of technological access, again, like VHS was back in the day. DVD menus for these things were also pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. We had some pretty great interactive DVD menus, had a wide variety of special bonus features. They would include a special bonus disc and a 2-disc set, so that was pretty nice. And more movies were released on these formats than any other format, maybe except for VHS. So you could find a wide variety of things on DVD. And of course, because it's very consumer friendly, you could find just about anything for it. And technologically, there's so much technological access and how much you can burn onto DVDs. You could use them for simple storage like DVD RAM. There's also the DVD ROM technology. You have the blank DVDs you could put stuff on in. You could burn physical files on there to watch as movies, or you could use them simply for data storage, which is pretty nice. I will say, you get, other than some nice collector sets you get, DVDs have a very big scratch-resistant problem. Let's just take a look at Cool Runnings here, for example, since it's already out. I don't know if you can see it that well, but there are a lot of scratches on the disc. I did clean it through, so from what I tested, it looks okay. But once you scratch these puppies up or whatnot, it's just some of these are just plain unplayable, which is kind of a downside to DVD. If you scratch it all up, you really just ruin the disc for eternity. But DVD, it was just a wonderful format that I grew up with, and it's one of the most successful home video formats of all time for a reason. This was cross-compatible with a lot of different machines as well, not just DVD and Blu-ray players. These were a fantastic format, and I'm glad I had the childhood where I could grow up with DVDs. And last but not least, and I would say this is pretty much tied with DVD as far as my personal favorites, but it is the VHS tape format. It really is the ultimate nostalgia format. Nothing really brings you back to the 80s and 90s quicker than one of these bad boys. Honestly, even growing up in the, since I was born in the early 2000s, you know, you grew up with these things, but I never really stopped using them all that much. I know there was a point in the late 2010s where we were starting to get rid of, you know, a lot more tapes, exchanging them for DVDs or Blu-rays and stuff for home. I even know I got rid of a few tapes I kind of regret getting rid of as far as what I grew up with. But I never really stopped using these. I probably have collected, this is probably the analog format I have the most of, and like DVD, it's the most consumer-friendly format. Literally everything got put onto a VHS tape. And then, you know, like LaserDisc, I guess in this case, it's got a following after that just won't quit. There are people that are going to be watching these from now until the end of time, or at least until VCRs and VHS tapes stop working, period. Which hasn't happened yet. Everybody thought all these things would just degrade permanently by now, and they didn't. They're still here, and I still plan on using these until I croak, pretty much, is what it comes down to. I will use these until I feel like I want to be done with them, which is not right now. But that's my top 10 home video formats. I apologize for the video maybe running a bit long. I probably rambled on for a lot longer than I had intended, but that's what I personally think of all these home video formats. It really is a pretty nice selection, as I'm spilling stuff all over the floor, unfortunately. But there's really a fantastic selection of movies across all these different formats. We really did, some of us grew up with a wide variety of what we could watch. Granted, some of it was better than others. You know, DIVX and video CD were kind of crap, but, you know, can't go wrong with a simple DVD sometimes. Otherwise, that's all I have for today, so thank you for tuning in to the 20th Century Dude channel, and hope to catch you on the fly. See you, and God bless you all.